Hello crafty friends, I'm Jibid, welcome back to my channel. I have this floral themed custom order to show you, and also some little envelope ideas that I was having, so you may have seen already these on my Instagram. If you haven't, here they are. So what I've done is just a layer of tracing paper cut with the same envelope template as some lovely vintage book pages, so that you get this double layer. And I don't know if it's this thin pocket of air perhaps that gives it a really lovely padded tactile feel, and I really like the way they're feeling. Of course I've got these silk flower petals in this one, so it's making it puff up a little bit more even. But even when they're empty, they do really feel very nice. And it's funny, the lady who's having this book was talking to me about being touchy-feely, and it is really important to me how something feels. And I was thinking, you know how people say, look with your eyes. You don't need your hands to look. Well, I don't know, I don't get it. When I look at something, I really have to touch it and examine it with my hands. So anyway, these envelopes really appealed to me. So as you can see, I've filled them with different things, and I'm just going to check the focus, because I don't think I've still got it quite right with this camera. Okay, so that looks okay. So this one I've put a real specimen dried leaf in there, and some of them I have sewn around to make an enclosed pocket so it can't get out, and some I haven't. So this one is actually free on the back, and of course you can adhere the envelopes to make them actually into an envelope and not an opening packet like this. So that's that one. This one is completely open all the way around, and as I said, filled with silk flowers. This one is printed tracing paper, and underneath is inked, just ordinary printer paper that I've inked these to go with the book. The tracing paper I've used back to front, just to make it just slightly less vivid and strong, the reds. And this one I've just filled with, just got a little typed quote inside, and that's just loose, so there will be some movement. And also this is a nice idea, which you don't have to have this type of envelope, of course. Any envelope template, just stamp some lines, or indeed just use lined paper, and then your lines would be all the same way. So I've just used a handmade stamp on these parts, and then wouldn't that make a lovely happy mail to somebody, to a friend? I think that one goes this way around. And this one also was made for this book, with the colours, with these gorgeous pinky peachy roses, and vintage book page again, and sewn all round like so. And this one was a black and white image printed on tracing paper, and you can see inside just some random words. So these are loose again, you can see them moving a little bit there. And so, you know, for happy mails, I thought it was a really sweet idea. You could just put little messages and words to the person you're writing to, and even you could put different words in each section, of course, which would be nice. And you can fill it with anything, you know, postage stamps, feathers, same as you do like with the shaker cards, sequins, little vintage tickets, anything that you think will look nice will look nice. Okay, so let me sit back down. I'm trying not to kick the cat who is hiding under the table. Okay, so with this book, the lady told me what she wanted, which was a very kind of an easy order, nothing too complicated. She just said a few favourite flowers, and it was a nature theme, and she likes butterflies, birds, little creatures. So that was very easy for me, and I then made the mistake of asking her favourite colour, which she said was coral. So coral is a beautiful colour, but it's not easy to work with. So of course I didn't have to go that way, but I thought it would be interesting. So I dyed this fabric cotton in this very pretty coral colour, I hope. And all I've done is just stamped it with some wildflowers. And is that focused? Just drawn a word, written a word, sorry. And that's all I've done for the cover. The back, just one stamp on it. And what I did was dyed while the fabric was very creased and scrunched up, so that you get these nice texture effects with the ink. And then I pressed it afterwards so that when you adhere it to the book, it's flat, but you still get this texture, which I think is very nice. Focus, please. No, there. Okay, there. Nearly. I'll get there one day. Right, okay, so I'm going to show you the inside of the book. I've used this beautiful handmade Indian paper, and this is from Paper Tree Nook on Etsy, who have a really nice range. And I've used quite a lot of blues in this book. Coral, I do like the way that coral, those orangey tones go with some of the blue tones. So that's what I've been working on here. Some handmade paper, and also because of the favourite flowers that this lady had, it was what was it, sorry, peonies, irises, lilies and roses, and so that spoke to me more of a like a more garden flower sort of botanical theme rather than wild. So that's where I've gone. So I've used this image of what's he called, William Morris, A Floral Fantasy in an Old English Garden, and there's a few William Morris in here. So this is how I've done the personal info section instead of on a loose card. That's a real specimen. And because of the coral, I've gone a little bit less vintage this time, so just brought it a little bit more contemporary because I thought the colours suited better. So I've done some handmade stamps later that are a little bit more of a modern feel. But there are still some vintage images also, like this one. So here's some little stamps I made that I've used throughout the book. This is just on little scraps of tracing paper. Yeah. some images from the graphics fairy. Some sheer fabric. And a very old ledger here made into a pocket, and so again all backed and stitched and stamped, all the cards. So quite a lot of the papers are inked also. I've done some tracing paper and ordinary paper, and as you can see quite a lot of them are coloured, which you'll see properly. It's another William Morris, so he's the wallpaper chappie that you'll have recognised his very distinctive style that he had. Let's get in frame. And so I've done a little notebook here with some staggered edges which I thought looked nice, and you can see the book page through the tracing paper. And some of the papers are from the Nature Sketchbook, that beautiful set. This is your letter from the bookmaker, the magnet closure. Little card, and I've chosen A Garden of Peonies by Henry Hart, which is a little book of translated Chinese poems, I believe, not that I've read it. This is one of those Cavallini postcards with some lilies and a pocket with stitching, and I've made one of these little tracing paper windows with a handcarved stamp. Some stenciling, some stitching on the tracing paper, some collaging. Some of the collaging I've used just to cover up the stalks of these flowers, which you'll have noticed on the side of the book. I'll show you properly later. Another Nature Sketchbook image and some yellow honeycombs. Some lovely vintage irises, more hand-carved stamps, vintage irises, there's a pocket. These cards are lovely from Chikuna, and some of the images also from the old design shop, which I've used quite a few of, I believe. So another William Morris, this one, with a lovely garden roses and irises. And I've just cut this section into a window again and made a little notebook with some old ledger and scraps. So this is quite a strong magnet, so you need to use that one to open it. Just beware. Lots and lots of journaling cards in this one. Here's a tuck with a little scrap of tracing paper. I've used some Edwardian Lady pages here with the wild roses, and I've put this one because she looks like an Edwardian lady picking flowers, so I thought that suited quite well. And poem here. Quote. I've forgotten to put that that was a Walt Whitman. And I've used these silk flower petals also. These are your two help you write your titles cards. Some vintage book pages with handmade paper for writing over, and this one I've just decorated with these little birdies. So I've just drawn these onto more vintage book pages, and this one I've backed onto some cotton cloth just to give it some distinction from the background. And this little fella, I'll get you in focus. Like that, and some nice words on here. I've used a vintage Heidi book, so some little cosy words: hot, fireplace, kitchen, grandfather. And this is my bookmark to make sure I put your envelope back. So this one was here. And I managed to find William Morris on a stamp as well, so that's here. With some, I think they are peonies on there. Some old ledger, some machine lines, another collage. This was a very cute little die cut that I found. So you can see it has a little jotter at the top of the page there, which looks sweet. It's a poem, some journaling cards, a skeleton leaf, I just need to pause. Okay, sorry, somebody just walked in. Did I mention that we leave our doors open in Cumbria? We don't lock our doors, which is lovely to not live in a high crime area. So some more vintage images, a little magnetic clip here with a bunny, hand-carved stamps, and hand-carved stamps again. So that's tracing paper. This butterfly is layers of book pages cut just in a staggered size, and I've used some of the pink papers for the die cut, and I made a little birdie. Just with what did I use? Can't remember. I think it was those what are they called? Not oil pastels, but those ones that look like a lipstick. I think it was those. Then this is the only one that's like this, but I had some coloured paper that really went well with the purple and green, so I've just used that instead of the tea dyed paper. Or William Morris. Oh, I forgot I was going to put a little writing space here, so I will do that to fill that little empty space. So let's put our marker in again. No, actually not. That's going to fall out because I haven't shown you the charms yet. Hand carved stamp, handmade paper into a journaling card. A pocket, and that's just a plain tag with a stamp. Just dyed some tags. Oh, and that's your other one, so which one was that? So take this out. This is a Graphics Fairy image, if you are interested, because it's really pretty, these roses. And so lovely how you can see the writing through them. Pocket here with a little notes thingy, some stamping. On this side I've just left you a little space for a title that you can write on yourself. And this, let's get in frame. This opens space for 3 tags down here. A little pocket here with some more journaling cards. I've used some sheer fabric, some what was that, organdy, for the hinge here, and done some machine stitching also, which was a cool idea from my friend Liv, so thank you Liv for that. I've copied you. Some lovely yellow roses, a bird clip here, more tracing paper, sewn a little frame around these stencils, and pocket, and in here I had dyed some tags that I didn't use, so I've just put those 2 in there for you to use yourself, just because they match the colour. And that is the end of the book. So let's show you I've just put that tag in loosely, not sure if you wanted to secure it somewhere. So as you can see, there's some lovely flowers. I've just used some silk flowers and kind of pulled them apart a little bit to give that lovely effect. And there's also some charms which I'll just stand up to make sure they're in focus. And now that I've stood up, I can't see what I'm doing. Okay, So a little fox here, some enamel beads, the dragonfly, a froggy, a squirrel, more enamel beads. Is that all of them? Yep, and just this last one, that lovely bee charm. And that is the end of that. I just wanted to say thank you for your help with my blog, upcoming blog. So if anyone has any other advice, it's greatly appreciated. I'm still working on it, it's not up yet, but as you know by now, I'm very slow at these things, so I will get there one day. But for now, thank you for watching, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.